Yeah. Okay. All right. So one of the things I've heard about you, Moby, is that you hate being compared, and in fact you get angry. Somebody even told me you might hit me if I said you sound like Eddie Vedder.
No, he's asking for it. I wouldn't hit you, but I mean, I've explained this a lot of times. It's not that. I mean, you know, a lot of people would take that as a compliment. I took that as a compliment too when I started off. But then when we started making our own music, I realized that was very detrimental because my main songwriting partner in Corduroy is Sarma, and Sarma doesn't listen to anything that's remotely grungish, you know.
Right.
He listens to Pearl Jam, but that's it. I don't sound anything like
it. It does not sound like anything like
it. So I guess one of the biggest compliments that I look for in our CD when people listen to us is they're like, okay, you're not from here. It's Pakistani grunge rock. That's just the worst thing I can think of.
Like the article on us, Desi grunge.
Desi grunge. I just hate it.
Who wrote that?
I don't know, some journalist, I guess. I mean,
some XYZ person, right?
No, I mean, you know, I respect critics because I've written myself, and I think that it's everybody's honest opinion.
Coming to critics again, I mean, the person who decides what is authentic in Pakistan generally is considered to be Nadeem Farooq Baracha. Yeah. And he thinks like, I mean, Eddie Vedder would be jealous of how much you sound like Eddie Vedder, and he'd try to work harder at being Eddie Vedder. So, I mean, that was a pretty influential article I've read.
It's not just that. I mean, one thing that embarrasses me a lot too is the way he praises my lyrics. I mean, you know, he calls me all sorts of stuff, and I just feel very embarrassed. I just think all those people, you know, are just amazing. I've read, I mean, lyrically more than vocally, I'm influenced by Eddie Vedder.
Okay.
His lyrics were.
And then the last thing is, I don't want to stretch this too much. Is everyone thinks you're a, you know, Pearl Jam tribute band because you've got a band that's named after one of their songs.
Yeah, well, that's one of the unfortunate things.
Happy about the fact that we got stuck with the name CORDUROY.
Yeah, right.
But there's not much we can do right now.
I don't know. We never. But you know, we never thought about changing it either. I don't know. It just never crossed our minds that people will one day say that. You know, okay. So is that named after the song?
It does sound good, and it grows on you so much. You know,
all sorts of mushy stuff. Another moniker that's gotten stuck to us is Van Vedder. So that's basically combining Van Halen and Eddie Vedder, unfortunately.
I saw that one song which had references to a laundromat, and it was a song about, you know, Mama not joining a rock band, and then about the van. Yeah, about the van, and you know, so.
When was that?
That's like.
How did you even hear that? You know, that's
it's unreleased. That song is unreleased, and we wrote it 3 years back. That was our first rock song.
It's not even in the CD.
Right, because you know, I've never played guitar in a laundromat because I have a Dobie who comes to my house.
Yo, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
it's like Ziggy Stardust and stuff. You know, there's no reality. But I like to play around with words. What you're mentioning is a really, really old song. Those are lyrics I'd rather, you know, discard anyway. So
okay. So as an artist, how much pain do you have in you?
You can only tell that when you listen to me live. I mean,
right.
I'm notorious for
a lot of pain.
Breaking mic stands and stuff like that.
All of you have pain in you.
No, we're very goofy.
You're sad.
No, we're not sad. You see, because you know, we use the music to get things out of our system. So what's left? Yeah, you know. Otherwise, I swear to God, if I hadn't been a singer, I would have been a serial killer. Period. If you take it that way, a lot of people that listen to Blink 182 don't do that just because they think it's goofy. A lot of them are depressed, but it's like, you know, it's a form of escapism. You know, that I have so much crap in my life. Why listen to something that reminds me of that? Yeah. But on the other hand, there are people like us, for example, or me, for example, that, you know, if I'm feeling bad, I'd rather listen to something that's, you know,
makes you happy.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make me happy. That's what I'm looking. I'd rather listen to something, you know, murky, like maybe, you know, downbeat REM, for example. REM is a band that I love a lot.
Okay, one of the things we're also interested in is how people become musicians. And we were talking to somebody the other day who has a very 60s feel around him. And that's because, you know, his parents, you know, left him basically tons of Doors records and tons of, you know, records from all over the place. So each one of you, I mean, what do your parents do? How did you get into this kind of music?
Well, my dad always played various instruments, from keyboard to guitar. My favorite instrument was the drums.
Okay.
So that's why I chose.
Were you ever ashamed of Ringo Starr?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
No, my parents started me off on the piano when I was like 6. And actually I learned more to read music and understand music and use the piano as a reference. And then, yeah, then after that I just basically experimented instruments, guitar, drums and stuff, and I landed on this.
Right.
And this is what I love, bass.
Who's the greatest bass player?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to say that.
Did you like Nicky Six and Motley Crue's Motley Crue?
I don't think you listen to a lot of Motley Crue.
Yeah, no, I
You don't? Alright.
First, I used to like pop music a lot, and Michael Jackson was like my favorite pop artist.
Yeah.
And then one day, like, I got a Van Halen cassette from a friend, and I was playing Black or White by Michael Jackson. So I basically put in Van Halen's cassette, and I listened to Pound Cake, and that intro, I was just blown away. I was like, man, I have to play electric guitar. I have to play loud and I have to play fast.
Okay, how did I start off? I just always loved singing.
Singing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just something that came to me. So, I mean, I never knew I could write songs, but I always wanted to sing. I always wanted to write. So, it's just that my parents never supported it. I come from a religious background. I'm probably the first person in my family to maybe that's where all the pain comes from.
Oh, pain.
Stuff. All the times when they wouldn't allow me to go.
No, don't continue. We might cry.
It makes for good publicity.
Yes, it's the pain.
Yeah,
we'll stick with the pain idea. Yeah, this band is all about pain.
No, actually it's not.
Non-Eddie Vedder pain.
No.
Non-Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, non-Eddie Vedder pain. I have to ask you a question. I read somewhere that you've only played guitar for 2 years.
No, it's more than 3 now, actually.
Somebody was really impressed by it.
That's like a really old.
Did you sell your soul to the devil? Because that's something guitars
there's a
do.
long,
there's a long story.
There's a lot, but save it for off air.
Yeah. Off air, okay.
We'll tell you about it later.
Alright.
Yeah, well, roughly 4 years back, I just picked up the guitar and I ended up playing corduroy.
Wow, man, it's not like you're playing Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting stories about Ali.
I'll also say that Ali's a big start, basically.
How come you guys can't get a distributor?
A lot of,
I think that's it's pretty understood, the sort of music we make, and there aren't a lot of labels over here. For example, take the example of Southern.
Well, why would they?
Why?
It's not really a question of liking.
Not even liking, really.
It's more like, okay, can this sell?
Yeah.
You see, if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have all these Bhangra CDs.
In Pakistan, who do you guys respect?
Mikal the band, the whole.
So he's got a band or something?
Who, Mikal Hassan?
Yeah.
Mikal Hassan band.
Okay.
Haven't you heard of them?
No.
Which stone have you been married? My God!
I hope he's not watching this show.
It'll be like you're basically doing the Peter Gabriel sort of scenario. Mikal who? I mean, it's a long story, man.
Who's Peter Gabriel?
That's what Mikal asked too.
Yeah, so other than Mikal Hassan.
Janoon, I mean, old Janoon, I guess. Diwar is not my cup of tea, but Faraz, I know.
He's great.
Yeah, but that's just one word, we're two, so.
Okay, I like his vocals actually.
Actually, some of his songs,
I like his vocals.
He sounds amazing. It's just that when he tries to copy, I don't know.
Eddie Vedder.
No, I think his vocals really. I'm an advocate that his vocals, they go with his music. The sort of music he plays, I think and some of the songs he's sung.
Some of the songs really suit him, but when I don't know, when he tries to be that White Snake singer, I don't know what his name is.
Dave Gilmour?
David Coverdale.
Yeah, Coverdale.
No, Gilmour was...
David Gilmour was Pink Floyd. You call yourself a music journalist?
I'm a music opportunist, I said that before. Okay. I've read 4 guitar player magazines to prepare for you guys.
Wow.
What's your name?
Mubashir.
Mubashir what?
Noor.
Mubashir Noor.
Yeah.
And then what?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
So then it became Moby.
Yeah, everybody calls him Moby. I've always been called Moby. So I call him